episode of the Old Skool Movements podcast. My name's Mr. Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And on today's show, we've got it like, we've been wanting to do Kung Fu for a while, involve Kung Fu, because it was part of our childhood in a massive way.
And it deserves it. It deserves a good talking about. So we've held back a bit, haven't we?
Yeah,
we want to wait. We want to wait until the time was right.
Yeah, time
do
was
it
right,
a bit more justice.
Yeah, there's something special arrived.
Yeah.
And we've got a guest to launch our Kung Fu memories on the Old Skool Movements podcast. And yeah.
Who didn't love a Kung Fu, man?
All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have this martial arts legend. I saw him on my screens since I was a kid, and he's been kicking ass ever since. He's joined us now on the Old Skool Movements podcast. It's Mr. Bob Wall, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, remember, he's 81. He's an old turkey.
He's an old Wall now.
Sure, he can still kick your ass, though, man.
He can still kick ass, though.
All you got to do is see my hands, and you know if I can kick your ass.
Yeah.
Do you still work out, Bob? I'm interested. Do you still work out at all?
Yeah.
Do any?
3 days a week, 81, still do the splits.
Man,
and people say, "Are you fast?" And I knock them out before they even get the question out of their mouth.
I love that.
Then it's get to you, then they're knocked out, right?
Knocked out already. I love that. I want to take it back. Back in the States, before the Kung Fu films were about, before martial arts was really known, what got you studying and what got you into martial arts? How did you get into it? Because everyone wants to be Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee wasn't about in your days when you first got into it. So what pulled you into martial arts?
Answer to your question is, when I was 13, I was 5 feet tall and 93 pounds. Wow. And I had a vicious father. You can't see him here, but I can tell you, hay hook scar here, stabbed me with screwdrivers, hit me in the face with hammers, beat me with baling wire. So at 13, I decided I was going to kill my father or leave. And luckily, I loaded the gun. He was smoking one of his Lucky Strikes in the dark. And this voice said, "Don't kill him. There's a better way." I didn't know for years it was God spoke to me. God said, "There's a better way. Don't kill him. Leave. Get out of Dodge." So I did. And I rode 168 miles. In 1952, there were no street lights in America. I don't know about where you guys are.
Yeah.
But I moved in with an uncle, and he had a big car lot at 10th and Keys in San Jose, where I was born, and went back from my dad had moved us out to a little town called Turlock. If you're going to assert the earth and enema, you'd do it in Turlock. That was that exciting of a town. But anyway, so I started washing cars, went through high school, became a mechanic. But prior to that, I got beat up by everybody. Because I was a typical, abused kid.
Yeah.
And I'm raised in a shit shack. I don't have $5. And so there's this kid named Richard Brindero, and he was 17 in the 8th grade, and he was 260 pounds. And he had the brain of maybe a carrot, which is about 65, but he shaved and drove his car. And so he beat me up again, but it was a real bad mistake this time. He beat me up, but I had to ride 18 miles each way on my little bike from my shit shack. And he took my bike and put it on a drinking fountain, which used to stick up like that. And he broke all the spikes and spokes. And then he took a switchblade and he cut all the tires. And so then, I cried as usual. But then I snapped. I became the psycho that I am today. I was a sniper in the Army. I killed a lot of people in respect to my country. But that's the day I became a psycho. He went in the bathroom, I picked up a brick, he walked out, and I smashed him in the face, and I popped an eye out, broke 7 of his teeth, his nose, jaw. Wow. He was never the same again. He almost died. But I was disappointed because I was trying to kill him. But I took the bloody brick around every kid in school, and I said, "Listen, whoever beat me up again, I'm going to kill you. And I'll take a rock, a bat, a tree, a club. I'll take a rock and jump on a roof, and I'll jump off and crush your skull. I will kill you." I went psycho. Well, everybody was scared shitless of me, even though I was 5 feet tall and 93 pounds. But then about 6 or 8 months later, I had the incident of going to kill my father, and God spoke to me and said, "Don't do it." So I left. I got hooked on martial arts because I started wrestling when I was 14 at 5 feet, 93 pounds, in an era of 93 pounds, 98 pound weaklings. And I got the shit kicked out of me, i.e. I got my butt kicked thoroughly first year. Second year, I said, well, if I'm going to get my butt kicked, I want to pick Bubba. I want to pick the big guys, so I started wrestling with the big guys. And of course, I got my butt kicked thoroughly. But after a month or two, they started, I don't know if they felt sorry for me or what, but I was like a bad penny. I kept coming back. I would take the beatings and I would come back and back and back. And I think maybe they got tired of beating my ass. So second year, I won a few. But by the third year, I went undefeated. Fourth year, I went undefeated. Then I got a scholarship to San Jose State. And then I went there and I'm a wise ass. Now I'm 5'7", 130 pounds. I wouldn't like me today if I knew me then, because I was a real wise ass. I got the fastest Corvette in the world. I wear a white Moana hat. I go out with a hot blonde and a hot brunette. And I have them set my car up. I'm sitting there with my Moana hat and I kick everybody's ass and I come back and the hotties. I think they were more jealous of the hotties than my Corvette. But anyway, I got hooked on martial arts because of wrestling, because of getting my ass kicked. And then I go to judo and I got my ass kicked. And then I became a black belt in 1957, signed by Jigoro Kano's son, Rise. And so in 1957, I decided I'm going to move to LA and train with the world's baddest MF on the planet to this day. There is nobody that can beat Gene LaBelle, and he's 88. He created MMA. So I became one of his black belts in 59. And then I studied everything. I got many, many, many black belts, legitimate, not bought. And I studied Thai boxing. I studied American boxing. I studied jiu-jitsu. So I'm a wrestler, judo guy. And different than the average bird, I went to the street and tested my theories. But to find out what really worked.
Real survival, real combat.
This is why I have so many broken hands and shit. But there were a lot of cheeks and jaws and shit. But anyway, I field tested martial arts. And so I know what works and what doesn't work. So I invite anybody to come over and kick my ass today at 81. And I can assure you it'll be embarrassing for your dumb ass.
So did you actively pick fights on the streets to test it?
No, I never did. I never started a fight. I never hit anybody first. But honestly, I don't like bullies. I don't like egotists. I don't like bad people.
Of course
I like
not.
good people, like you guys. I like documentary makers. I like history seekers and creators and so on. But anyway, so, and then I decided I'm going to work for myself. And so my last job was as head bartender at Whiskey A Go-Go, which was the hottest club in the world in the 60s. And I saved enough money to open my first school. My then girlfriend, Lillian DeSimone, I'm Irish, she's Sicilian. And we opened our first school. And then I gave Joe Lewis, who was one of the great fighters.
One of the greats.
He was my partner, and I gave him half of the school. He got out of the Marine Corps 65, and he had about $40. Didn't have a car. So I moved in with me, and we lived together and trained, and he was way better than me. And so, again, now I'm doing stand-up fighting. He kicks the shit out of me daily. So I guess if you have anything to say about Bob Wallace, he's had his ass kicked by everybody. If you kick my ass, you won't be kicking a virgin's ass, I can assure you. But
you're still here to tell the tale. That's the thing, though. You're still about.
Well, I think it's a little more challenging to kick my ass today at 81 than it was then. But then I got to meet the great Bruce Lee in 1963, and at a kung fu demonstration.
Was that the international? Was that the international where he showed the 1-inch punch?
No. So it was 1 week after he beat up Wong Man Jack, who would like to hide the facts, in spite of a dozen people were there with him getting his ass kicked. And Bruce beat the hell out of him. So it was a week later. Gene LaBelle always told me, go train with everybody. Everybody's got something good. So I went to watch this kung fu demonstration with a guy named Bob Osman, who unfortunately has passed away. But for martial arts, he was a big guy, 6'2", 230. Most of us were smaller. And so I went and watched this demonstration, and this clown, I think he's still alive, named Chris Chan. So if I'm lying, Chris, call me and we can have a rematch, motherfucker, after I knock your dick stiff. But anyway, he starts talking shit about, oh, I see karate people here. There was about 6 of us Wilos, i.e. non-Chinese. And He says, I'll show you Kung Fu is better than karate. And so he said, anybody wants to come up here, karate people, you can hit me as hard as you want. Oh, 3 guys went up there. There's about 6 of us. Well, we didn't go. But anyway, 2 guys went up there. What do they do? Shuto chops. Now, that was a real 63. Okay. Yeah. He puts his arm in. Now, it's not hit me as hard as you want. Don't hit me in the nose, the teeth, the ear, the head, or the stomach. Just hit me in my arm.
Chop his arm.
Which is extended in the air. So I'm going, oh, this is a bunch of BS. Anyway, so they go chop, chop, chop. Of course, they didn't hurt him. Then he says, all right. You know, the usual kung fu. And he says, now I will break your arm. This is good old Chris Chan from San Francisco. Punk motherfucker. If this is not true, please call me. We'll have a rematch. Punk. So anyway.
It's out there again.
So they did their little judos, and he said, all right, put your arm out and I'll break your arm. And I go, and they didn't buy in to getting their arm broken, so they left. So I'm standing there and going, hey man, you can break my arm. Show me. I can't wait. I like, show me. Don't talk me to death. Show me. So I go out there and he whack, whack, whack. And it was pretty clever. Took 2 fingers and whacking me between the wrist and the hand. And of course, doesn't break my arm. But he did raise a welt. I give him credit. He hit hard. But wasn't exactly an arm breaker. So after about 8 or 9 or 10, I kept saying, break my arm. You said you were going to break my arm. Show me. Break my arm. Don't talk me to death. So finally, I just reach out, and I got freaky long arms. Believe me when I tell you, you got to be 6'6" to have arms like it. I'm a freak. Okay? For a guy 6 feet, 190 pounds. But anyway, so I just reach out and slap him. Spins around, falls down, and pretends he's knocked out. He's laying there with his little feet fluttering. By the way, Chris, if this is not true, call me up. We'll have a rematch. Punk. So anyway. All of a sudden I realized I'm standing there. I still had my bourbon and soda in my left hand. I just stepped forward, and all of a sudden I look at 200 Chinese faces. I'm going, oh, probably just got myself killed. These fucking Chinamen have knives and shit. So I quickly walk off stage. Now today I could do stand-up comedy for 3 days, but in those days I didn't know one joke. So anyway, I walk up, I go to Osmond, and he goes, we have to get the hell out of here. I think you just got us killed. Let's go. We don't want to run real fast like jackrabbits, but let's go to the door. So we're walking to the door. All of a sudden, this is tough looking guy walking straight at me. I'm going to knock him out first. Guy sticks his hand and he says, I'm Bruce Lee. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I wanted to do it. He said, you're as bad as I am. Oh, okay. We went outside, talked for 4 hours, and we became best friends. And that's how I met.
That's excellent.
And I fell in love with him. He was brilliant. He was kind. He was charismatic. But let me tell you, he wasn't exactly the martial artist that he was 10 and a half years later when I got to teaching him crescent kicks, heel kicks, spinning back kicks, side kicks, etc. Believe me. Why am I the only man alive to be in all of his movies? Because he beat the shit out of me. Before every scene, we were so close, and he'd say, Wall, I'm going to break something. I go, fucking Chinaman, you can't break different. And so then he proceeded to just kick the shit out of me. So they were full on. We did every scene 4 or 5 times. I'd go, Wall, you're not too smart. I mean, you're really not too smart. It's one thing to take 1 or 2 or 3 of Bruce's kicks or punches. About the 4th time, you're going, it doesn't say Smart Bob on my forehead. It's Stupid Bob.
Because some of those kicks that you took in Enter the Dragon were kind of harsh. One in your
nuts.
Looked
full on. They looked full on.
Kind of hard. He was trying to break me.
Yeah. I heard one of the side kicks where it threw you into the crowd. You actually landed on someone and broke their arm. One of the.
Well, yeah. That was that happened at the end because we were doing real deal fighting. Any professional fighter watches our fight scene. You know, there's no fake BS. No. You watch him kick me in the head. You watch him kick me in the groin. And I got lots of pictures of people who want to see me 3 feet off the ground. He's kicking me in the groin. I wonder if he was really kicking me. Oh,
of course.
So, we were buddies. And I harassed him. It doesn't say Smart Bob up here. I got out, you little Chinaman, you can't break shit. Well, so 3 months he's trying to break me. Well, I was one sore MF. I was some beat up guy, but I took it. Yeah. I'm a warrior.
What about that flip kick in Enter the Dragon? Did Bruce Lee do that, or was that a stuntman?
That was stuntman. He didn't do backflips.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I heard that.
We were making a movie. Yeah. And Bruce Lee, in my opinion, humbly, is the greatest film fighter of all time.
Yeah.
Besides being a great human being, quite bright, unbelievably charismatic, unbelievably talented martial artist. But no, he didn't do the backflip.
Yeah. I get the kind of perception that Bruce Lee was very grounded in his whole physical appearance. He looked after himself, and he was very disciplined in everything that he'd done, from eating to fighting. What was he like off camera, like when you weren't filming and that? What?
You know what's funny? He was off camera 90% what he was on camera.
That's all
He
right.
was he was brilliant. He was kind. One of his best friends was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, when I met him, was Lou Alcindor, going to UCLA. And 7'2", 120-pound black man who was getting his ass kicked. He was going to the pros, so he decided he'd start training with Bruce Lee. And he would come every Saturday with Chuck Norris and I. And we were like a freak show, because you got Kareem, black man, 7'2", with Bruce Lee, 7'5'7", Chinaman, right? With Chuck Norris, half Indian, red man.
Yeah.
I was the only white guy in the group.
Yeah.
And we'd go almost every Saturday for a couple of years. Bruce would take us down to Chinatown and we'd do dim sum. Now, here's what's funny about Bruce. Here's what's different. I love this. So the first time Chuck Norris, I go down there to meet him, and he had these 3 favorite restaurants in Chinatown for dim sum. And then we walk in and we say, we're here to meet Bruce Lee. Where's Bruce? Oh, him in kitchen. In the kitchen. Absolutely in the kitchen. We go in the kitchen. He has a table, cloth, everything, silver, everything. And he and Kareem are sitting there, Lou, in those days. And I go, what are you doing back here? Some China waiters fit in soup. Don't want to fit in soup. I see food come right from China, cooked to my table. I said, okay, I got it.
I love that. I can imagine Bruce saying that. I can imagine Bruce saying that. You mentioned there a bit, Bob, about your gym, your dojo that you went in and bought and got hold of with Joe Louis, but he sold his half to Chuck not long after having it. And I heard a story about you bumped into a guy called Arnold one time while you were at your gym.
Talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be the guy. Yeah, I heard you bumped into him one time.
Well, I know Arnold very well. Good man. Brilliantly talented. Probably, if not the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Funny SOB,
Amazing
very
bodybuilder.
smart. You know, I give him all the credit in the world.
I heard you helped him move into his first apartment. Like you were one of the first he sort of contacted when he came over to the States back in the day.
Yeah, I was actually there to rent him his first apartment. It was very
That's
funny.
amazing.
Chuck Norris and he's showing us the apartment, Santa Monica. But anyway, we walk into his bedroom, and he was known as the Austrian Oak. So I got a big kick out of it, because we walk in his bedroom, he's got this awesome oak bed.
Oh.
So he and Chuck go in the bathroom. Well, I've been in the bathroom before, so I didn't bother. I didn't think I needed another education. But he's got 2 stacks of wood that look like mail slots. So it was a slat here, and then another stack on the top. So being the noisy little turkey that I am, I'm Irish, so you got to give me a little credit. So I pick out one of these pamphlets, and it says $2.95, how to develop the outer head of the tricep. I put it back, I open the second one. $2.95, how to, little pamphlet, how to develop the inner head of the tricep. So Arnold walks out with Chuck, and I go, how many goddamn heads are on a tricep? He said, great, I sell all the body parts. He was making a few thousand a month. He hadn't been here 2 months.
Wow.
But anyway, he's the character.
Smart
I love
guy.
him. He's very talented, brilliant actor, phenomenal bodybuilder, funny SOB, but immoral as anybody I've ever known.
Yeah. Did you teach him any martial arts? Did he want to learn martial arts?
Yeah. Well, I always liked the big guys, you know. I taught Lou Ferrigno and him, and I choked out Will Chamberlain and a few other people. I'm a choke master. So I got these freaky long arms, so I always like choking out big guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I gave him a few lessons. But in exchange, Chuck Norris and I went to Arnold and Lou, and we didn't know crap about bodybuilding. And we got so much knowledge from Arnold and Lou, and they're both phenomenal, because they used lighter weights, but they supinated. They didn't go for the big heavy weights. But they were very specific about technique. I'm very specific. I've choked out thousands of people. So it's all about technique. It's not strength. And so I admired that. But yeah, Arnold and Lou Ferrigno both taught Chuck and I. In fact, Carlos, Chuck's real name, who I love to death, he said when he was 49, he said, my 50th birthday, I want to have the best body I've ever had. I said, okay. So we're buddies. We're really close. I'm older than him, but I give respect to the youngers.
Yeah.
And since he was better in karate than I was, and I was better in business than he was. So anyway, I bought him 3 months training, private training with Lou Ferrigno. But being the clown that I am, the wise ass, being Irish, and my father was 1/4 English, but I'm a wise ass. I combine honestly, English, Irish. So anyway, I set him up, and I basically allude that he was single then, we're going to go to a sexual interlude. I don't say it, but I kind of promote that thought. So we go to Louis' house in Santa Monica. And at that time, he's moved since then, but he had a long driveway and a detached garage, which tells you it was a real old house. Yeah. But he had turned it into a magnificent gym. So anyway, I had him have his gorgeous blonde wife come out, and she kind of just waved, at Carlos and I as we're walking down this driveway. And so then she ducks and dodges and goes in the back. Louis there, 335 pounds of him, right? Yeah. So we walk in, and of course, Carlos thinks we're going to have a sexual interlude. He's thinking, but I'm not, so I can't take a chance, right? So anyway, we walk in. All of a sudden, Louis walks out. He darkens the fucking sky. I need to work out. Yeah. Carlos looks at me and he says, "You son of a..." He doesn't swear, but he substituted and was able to convey to me his displeasure in transferring a sexual excursion to having to work out with this monster, Lou Ferrigno, who then proceeded to kick the shit out of us. So, if I remember correctly, I think I puked first.
Oh, mate.
Put it all out. But anyway.
Put you through your paces.
So Carlos said, "You did this to me. You got to take the entire 3 months." So we did. Right. And Louis is amazing. He's just amazing. So we had a blast. Nice. We've had so much fun. I have met so many fabulous people in life. I mean, not only did I teach Ford, Reagan, my favorite, and Bush, I taught Elvis, Jack Palance, Mike Keith, Paul Newman. I've been so blessed. I have the greatest life in the history.
Yeah. There's an array of people that you've worked with, that you've trained, and like when Kung Fu martial arts movies came out to the UK, we saw a lot of the classic Kung Fu's like the Thundering Mantis and the Drunken Masters and so on, all the early Jackie Chan films. But when Enter the Dragon hit the scene, it was like an explosion. It was like something that we've never seen before. We had all these different characters from around the world converging on one island to battle it out to be the best. And your character really stood out for me because, to be honest, when I was a kid, I hated your character. You were such an evil dude. You
weren't alone. Everybody I met for 2 years says, "I hate you."
I hated your character. Yeah, you tried to hurt Bruce. You made his sister kill herself.
You scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it was just like, Bruce, kill him. And when you was gonna fight, when you and Bruce had to fight each other, I was like, this is the time when I'm gonna see Bruce kick this dude's ass. And that fight scene just stays in my mind for so many reasons. First, the balls don't hit back scene. Was that improvised? Was that in the script?
We had a blast. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris were my buddies, and I wanted to do whatever they wanted. Right. So you'll get a kick out of this. So Bruce calls me and says, "Okay, after I did Way of the Dragon for $75 a week, by the way," and I'm making way more than that. And he says, "I want you to play this part, and at the time it was Okata. I looked at the script. I said, "F off."
I was going to ask you about
that. I don't look like an Okata. I'm Irish. It's O'Hara. So I named myself. Okay. But anyway, I love that kid. And he was the greatest film fighter of all time. So I give him so much respect.
I've heard, Bob, that in between takes in Enter the Dragon also that Bruce Lee didn't mind old doobie or two.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee was a great human being. Yes, he did marijuana. I never knew about it because for years I told him, I said, "If you do drugs, don't come around me. Don't bring it around me." But yeah, he smoked marijuana. But 1972, I was teaching a writer, a producer, and he was brilliant. And he wrote a film called Alice B. Tookless. Look it up, Alice B. Tookless. And it was about marijuana being cooked into cookies. And so I had to take a break. I said, look, I'm going to go for 3 months. I got to be in Rome. I got to be in Italy, and I can't teach you. So I had to cancel all my private lessons. And this guy, Larry, was brilliant. But anyway, he wrote Alice Pt1. So when he found out I was going to work with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, he gave me a copy of the movie. Now, I don't know shit. I don't know how to spell marijuana. In fact, nobody ever says I go smart Bob. Particularly if you spar Muhammad Ali, you're not very smart. Okay. He always wanted to box me. I said, does it say stupid Bob up here? No, baby. I'm going to spinning leg sweep you. I'm going to fake front hook and round kick you in the head. But no, baby, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to spar the phenomenal, amazing, unbelievable one of my heroes, Muhammad Ali. But I could kick his ass because I have a few tools he didn't have. But anyway, so I go over there and I never watched the film. To this day, I've never watched it. Alice Pt1. I gave it to Bruce. Well, I don't know. That's the first time I knew he did marijuana. So we're in this hotel on the Via Veneta in Rome. He runs down to the hotel. I don't know what he handed, $50, $100 to the chef. Comes back up. He's got marijuana. Not in cookies, in brownies.
Oh.
And he tries to give me one. I said, nah. I try to give him a glass of wine. He spit it out. He said, this is piss. And I said, well, this is shit too. I'm not eating that crap. But anyway, rest of our life, which was 72 to 73, every time we trained every day. And on the set, off the set, whatever. I love this kid. You go to this son of a bitch's house and every room has a weight machine. In this GD kitchen, he had a universal gym. I mean, he had punching, everything. Anyway, we ran together a lot. And so anyway, we would go upstairs when we were in Hong Kong. We were doing Into the Dragon. And he had a 2-story house. And the second story, he had this refrigerator. And he'd run over there and he'd get his brownies. I'm the problem. I created the brownies from Alice Pt1, but I don't do it. He said, you want a brownie? I said, no, give me a glass of wine. Okay, give me brandy, give me whiskey, give me champagne, but I don't want any of those. Anyway, so we were opposites, but it cracked me up because I've never done any drugs. Fucking Bruce, after 2 marijuana-laced brownies, he would burn the carts up, back and forth to the refrigerator. 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. And he was like, nobody else. He was very, very exotic and very, very busy. Let's just say he wasn't exactly Mr. Calm like me.
You're very calm.
So he'd say, you want a brownie? No, you have a brownie, I'll have a glass of wine. Nah. 2 or 3 brownies later. Hi, Fred. How are you doing? And then he'd race back to it and eat half of the refrigerator. So it made him hungry.
He loved his brownies. Bruce loved his Brucey bonuses, man. He loved his brownies then, right?
He loved his brownies.
Anyway, I'm giving you insider stories. But the important thing is I love that kid. I think he was one of the most brilliant martial artists of all time. He and Chuck Norris and Joe Louis and a few others. Jim Harrison, Pat Burleson. I mean, I trained with the best. And
what do you think of guys like Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme?
He's a punk, little weasel. I stood on his foot, 1998. I jammed my foot in his face and I said,
who's that?
You start off finish.
Is that Steven Seagal?
And he cried. He's a punk. Steven Seagal is a chicken shit, fat ass punk.
So I guess you don't like him then, Bob.
I have no respect for him. You know what?
Why is that?
If you're a martial artist, you give respect, you get it.
Yeah.
If you give disrespect, you get it. I don't like punks like Steven Seagal, fat pigs, that give no respect to anybody but themselves. Come on. I stood on his foot, jammed my foot in his face. I said, you start, I'll finish. And he cried like a little bitch. He's a wuss.
So you're saying you beat him up? You're saying you beat up Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal is a chicken shit punk.
And you beat him up?
No, I just stood on his foot and scared the shit out of him. Let's just say that he had doo-doo in his underwear. Let's just say I gave him Polish underwear, yellow in the front, brown in the back. He's a chicken shit punk.
And he didn't do nothing about it. He just let you do that. And
no, he did. He cried. He went, boo-hoo-hoo. I don't want to fight you. I'm afraid of you because you're a killer. No shit, you punk motherfucker.
Wow. When's the last time you saw him? When's the last time you saw Steven Seagal?
Oh my God. 98, when I stood on his foot, jammed my foot in his face and said, you start, I'll finish, you punk. And he cried. He cried like a little witch. He's a bitch. He's a needle dick punk.
Van Damme? What do you think of him?
Well, I'm sad to say I started his career. Started writing me letters in 82 when he was Jean-Claude Van Varenberg. And the usual letters in those days, because I'm world professional champion. So I actually get, before even I did Bruce Lee movies, I get a lot of calls. And he said, I'm a huge fan of yours and the great race, Bruce Lee. I got 6 of his letters I saved just in case. Just like Steven Seagal article. I want you to see the facts, not the fiction. I deal in facts. So the little weasel says, well, I'm a big fan of yours and the great late Bruce Lee and blah, blah, blah. And then 99 questions about Bruce Lee and 1 about me. And I go, I guess I know who your hero is. So anyway, several letters later when I said, I don't have a fan club. I don't have a movie studio. I do this on my own. We're done. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Jean-Claude Van Varenberg. Oh my God, Mr. Wall, 6th letter. I'm coming to America. I want to be a movie star. If I could just get a picture with you, it means so much to my career. Okay, come on. The day he arrives, unfortunately for little weasel, needle dick, Jean-Claude Van Damme, fake punk who can't fight. I like real martial arts. I don't like punks. I don't like needle dicks. Anyway, so he comes, and who's there but Chuck Norris and Bill Wallace, Superfoot, world, middleweight champ. And he walks in, and of course, I'm Mr. Hero. But as soon as he sees Chuck Norris, he pushes me out of the way. He goes, oh my God, Mr. Norris. And so all of a sudden, next thing he goes out to his car, he gets a gi and comes back in. And he's like in his 20s, this is 85, and we're in our 40s. So you know what 20-year-old thinks when you're in your 40s, you're one step from the grave. Let me tell you, 20-year-olds, you might be making a mistake. Because
you're in your prime.
I got on right up my wall here, age and treachery will always overcome youth and skill. You don't want to fuck with an old man because no longer does a life sentence mean the same to us. So we'll kill you. And we're not going to spend a lot of time doing it. I will kill you. I will fuck you up 40 ways from Sunday. Anyway, the weasel comes in and I say, if we do 50 or something, do 10. Well, 30 minutes later, he's puking his guts out. And we got 2.5 hours to go. So he's a weasel. He's a phony little chicken shit. But because Chuck Norris was there, he felt sorry for him. And he hired him as a weasel gopher. And that's how he met Manahum Golan. And that's how he got his first part. Blood sport. Okay. And then the second film failed. And they told him they were going to get rid of him when they went to do his 3rd film. And he begged me to get my black belt, Dennis Alexio, who co-starred in the film, set up all the fight scenes. His highest grossing movie today because of Dennis Alexio, my black belt. 60-1, greatest heavyweight kickboxer of all time.
Amazing.
So Bob, going back to Enter the Dragon, the fight scene with the glass bottles, I heard Bruce got injured during that. What was that about?
Bob Klaus was a terrible director and didn't like Bruce Lee and Bob Wall because we were not actors. We were only martial artists. So he started this BS about, use real glass. It'll be realistic. Bruce and I were cool with it. But Bruce said, you see, in real fighting, if you guys are real fighters, your forward weapon, whether it's left or right, that's what you throw. You throw your closest weapon. Okay? But in film fighting, it's just the reverse. You have to do it slower. So Bruce was standing right leg forward, and he said, and I'm standing left leg forward, and he said, okay, Bob, these are real glass. So there's real danger here. We're not kidding around.
There's a chance.
Break the bottles. And if you go back and look at the End of the Dragon scenes, you'll see several takes where I break I got a short one, and then I got a long one, and I got a long one, and I got a short one. Anyway, so we do the scene. And Bruce said to me, beloved brother, he said, Bob, I want you to try to stab my right pec. And I'm looking at him, I know him pretty well after 10.5 years. So I don't have to ask him twice. My character, O'Hara, hates his ass. So I'm in character. I hate Bruce Lee's ass. You understand?
Mm.
He said, don't come at me with the front bottle, come at me with the back bottle, because that gives me time to show it on screen. And so he's got to hit me between the wrist and the elbow. He's standing right leg forward. You go back and look at the scene, you'll see it. He's standing right leg forward with a kick I showed him. I trained him, crescent kick. So we're doing the scene, and he says, Bob, I want you to try to stab me with the bottle in your right hand, which my left hand was forward. So normally I would throw my forward weapon, but that's not screen fighting. That's real fighting. That's street fighting. But I got to come at him with the backhand. So there's time for the camera, no matter how fast, to see it. He said, try to stab my right pec. Now, I'm not trying to stab his left pec. I'm not trying to stab him in the groin. I'm not trying to stab him in the thigh. I'm following direction from the greatest film fighter of all time, Bruce Lee. My job is to try to stab his right pec. So we do it 5-6 times, perfect. The last time, I come out, and previously he hit me between the wrist and the elbow. My bottle flies away. But this last time he hit me behind the elbow because I'm trying to stab his ass. He's not my buddy anymore. I hate this son of a...
Go well into character.
Kill this fucking Chinaman.
O'Hara, no.
So I'm trying to stab him, but it's missed timing on both of our parts. I'm not going to lay all the blame on him. I'm getting faster and faster because I'm getting more hate. It's a 6 or 7 take. Hits me behind the elbow. Guess what? My arm does not fly. Therefore, he jams his fist into the bottle. That's how he got cut. So certain dummies, I won't name them, that don't know shit, said Bob Wall didn't throw the bottle away. Well, listen, you stupid motherfuckers, whoever you are, wherever you are, die. Because I wasn't instructed to throw the bottle away. I was instructed to stab Bruce Lee in the right pec.
That's what he told you to do.
Exactly what he told you to do.
Yes. Oh, he was standing right leg forward and he jammed his fist into the bottle, which wasn't there if he hit me between the wrist and the elbow. That's how he got cut. It's a fact. No bullshit.
Of all the cast members in Enter the Dragon, all the fighters you had John Saxon, Jim Kelly, yourself, Bruce Lee, Bolo. Who was the strongest? Who was the hardest in your eyes?
Who's the hardest?
Yeah.
Who was the toughest fighter?
Oh, by far, Bruce Lee.
Barring Bruce Lee, who was the toughest?
Well, there was no second place, but I'm a world professional champion. I'm undefeated. I'm looking at my poster right now. It says, first world professional karate champions, Joe Louis, super heavyweight, Bob Wall, heavyweight, Mike Stone, light heavyweight, Chuck Norris, middleweight, Skipper Mullins, lightweight.
Names.
We're the real deal, motherfuckers. We are the real deal.
They were the best of the best. You just read out the best of the best.
And nobody on that poster killed people except me. So I'm not bragging. I just happen to be a killer.
My money's on you, Bob. My money's on you, Bob.
So you've answered my question then, Bob. Amazing.
Listen, I love Jim Kelly. I hired him. And Steve Sanders Muhammad, if you go back, when Jim Kelly walks into a dojo, he has to walk up and bow to his instructor, who is Steve Muhammad.
Okay.
Steve Sanders Muhammad. Steve Sanders Muhammad is a dear friend, number one. Phenomenal martial arts, number two. Superior bad motherfucker. Okay. But he and a buddy of his created the BKF, Black Karate Federation. Back in the days when the only way you got a point if you were black was to buy it. And so we needed to create the BKF. Anyway, he's come out. So I wanted him in the movie. I loved Jim. Only the second film he ever did. He did a teeny part in Belinda. He had no experience, but he was tall, handsome, good martial artist, and a really good guy. And I'm, in my opinion, and I feel sad that he's gone with us because he was a good man, but he hit the ball out of the park for black people. Yeah,
he was so influential.
He was all worried. I said, Jim, do I love you? Yes. Okay. Just be you.
I read somewhere that Klaus cut out some backstory for O'Hara, that there was going to be like a backstory showing you how you became Han's bodyguard, and that all got Robert Klaus cut it all out the film. I read somewhere.
Well, if you hear anything bad about Bob Klaus, it's true.
It's true.
He was an asshole.
I would have liked to have seen some O'Hara backstory in the film. I think
He was an asshole. Let me tell you what he did. After Bruce got cut, and he was out for a week, and he and I trained every day, but we couldn't train. Doctors, he had a really bad, serious cut. He jammed his fist into the bottle. And we're not kidding around. If you guys are real martial artists, you know when you're not kidding around. And so the second day after the cut, Freddie Weintraub, whom I love, one of the few honest men in Hollywood, came to me and he said, "You got to leave Hong Kong." I said, "Why?" "Well, Bruce is going to kill you." I said, "Really? Fuck you. Let's go to the house right now." We went over to Bruce's house and he asked him, he said, "Well, the rumor is that you're going to kill Bob Owens." "Are you kidding me? I love Bob. There's no chance. He's the only man alive that's been in all my movies. No chance. It's not going to happen." So he said, "Well, let's call a few of these asshole rumor starters." So again, I speak Cantonese. So I listened to him. I was calling 5 or 6 people. How did this rumor get started? Bob Klaus. "Where'd you hear the rumor?" "Bob Klaus." "Where'd you hear the rumor?" "Bob Klaus."
Wow.
So Bruce and Freddie and I get in the car and drive back to the hotel, same hotel I'm staying in, walk in the 5th floor where this little weasel, lousy director Bob Klaus is. We open the door and I slap the little son of a bitch. Now, I'm a freak. Like I told you, I got freaky going on. You better be 6'6". You won't have arms like that. Or a dick, by that matter. So that's another story. But I slapped the son of a bitch. He falls on the floor. I stand on his hand. I twist it back and forth because I'm an evil, sadistic, mean son of a bitch if I have to be. And I said, "You better stop the rumors, you punk-ass, bald-ass piece of shit. Or you're never going to finish this film because you're going to be in an ambulance ride to the hospital and you won't hear the siren." And Bruce said, "Yeah." And we walked out. No more rumors. But 3 years later, when he was safe in Seattle, I was a little book that said, "Oh, Bob Wall was going to kill Bruce Lee." Yeah, right. I got a big hammer. I do left hand, right hand. I go, come on. When you're safe, say it to my face, MF.
Yeah.
See how it works out.
Yeah. I love your negotiation with people, Bob. It's a very unique form of negotiations you have with people in your past. I like it.
And I'm open today for any invitations that bad motherfuckers think they want to come over and beat me up.
Wow.
Come here. Hey, I'll send a limo.
Wow.
I love that attitude. I love that attitude. That's a good attitude to have at your age.
Wow. Bob is ready. Bob, anyone wants to have it out, Bob is ready to fight.
I'm ready. Bring violence to me, baby. You got the right guy.
Bob's 81 and he's offering the whole world
grenaded,
out.
Sniped or beat up. Come to Bob Wall.
Hey, but Bob, don't you want an easy life now? Don't you just want to just chill, smoke, drink your whiskey and just chill? Wouldn't you rather that now instead of offering out the world?
Main thing I don't want to do is piss off Master Glenn or my wife.
That's your
One, because my sex life depends on my wife. I'm a retired whore. And 2, I don't want to get beat up by Master Glenn.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. That is totally fair enough.
You know what? In life, certainly when I clicked 70, I don't want to deal with clowns, jerks, bad guys, bullies. Steve, fucking, what's his name? Seagal. I don't like those kind of people.
Your mate.
Give me good people. Give me honest people.
Yeah.
Give me real deal. I'm not the best martial artist. I'm just the baddest. And I'm going to outlast your ass. So I stay in shape because of my ego.
Yep. You got to keep that ego in check. You got to keep that ego up at 81.
Shooting you or stabbing you or blowing up your home. But I'll do all those things if I have to.
You don't have to do that, Bob. You have to do great interviews like you're doing now. That's what you have to do.
Keep spreading the message of martial arts. That's what you need to do.
Just be an honest man. And like you guys, we love martial arts. Yeah. And the key word is back to the beginning. It's respect.
That's it.
Give your fellow person respect, regardless of their color or their anything.
Their background.
Just give it to the good people, the honest people, all the great people on earth, from Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Mike Stone, and you guys. The truth is, we should be kind. You know, I wake up every day of my life for the last 40 years. And when I wake up in the morning, I tell somebody to be kind to an animal. I don't care if it's a crow, a bird, a squirrel, a rabbit. I don't care. And then I'm going to be kind to a human being. So I think kind. Therefore, if you F with me,
it's a whole lot of,
I was going to be kind. But I click over kind and kill like that.
Yeah, there's a thin line between it.
Hurt you real bad to get you to bring to reality.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so happy. Thank you for being an asshole.
Make my day.
But I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to be kind.
You want to be kind?
It's your choice to disrespect me. And then we'll dance and we'll see if you like it.
That's right. Bob's ready for a fight. Bob, it's been great talking to you,
It's
man.
been amazing.
It's been an honor and a pleasure speaking to a Kung Fu villain legend who I hated as a kid. But now I'm chatting to you now, and you're a great guy, Bob. Bob, all the best in life. Respect. Thank you so
very much. All the best to you too.
Thanks for coming on.
Great interview. You guys are terrific. You guys ask great questions. You've done a great job. And let's say thank you, God, to the good, kind people, and fuck off to the rest.
You said it all for us.
We miss all the ones that can't be about anymore.
Yeah.
Be kind, be honest, but most importantly, be a bad motherfucker if you have to be. You'll be able to stand up for what you believe in and do what you got to do. And I'm one of those guys.
Love that, Bob. Bob, thank you. It's been a pleasure, man.
Thank
Peace
you.
out, my brother.
Thank you.
It's been good.
Thank you.
You guys do a great job. Believe
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you. Blessings to you and your family.
And
too,
to yours, Bob. Thank you very much. Thank you for the interview. Respect.
I love anybody that promotes martial arts in a good way. And you guys are great interviewers. You've done a great job.
Thank
you probably exposed me as being a foul-mouthed Irishman, which is true. But other than that, I think we did well.
You know well.
We've done
Love
great.
you guys.
Great.
Bless
Thank
you both.
Bless
Bless
you.
you and your families.
Thank you, Bob. See you later.
All right, guys. Ciao.
Thanks for that. Have a great day.
Thank you for your time.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Stay.
Thank you.
Cheers, Bob.
And remember one parting word. Never have weekends. You don't want a weak wife. You don't want a weak girlfriend. You don't want a weak interview. Have a fucking strong end. That's it.
Stay strong.
I'm a strong end guy.
Stay strong. Yep. I'm
Now.
gonna keep that to mind. Thank you.
Amazing.
Blessings. Ciao.
Wow, mate, Bob Wall, man. Damn.
Wow, that was a chat and a half.
The guy likes to chat, I'll tell you that. He likes to chat, man. But yeah, man, what a career he's had, man. All the celebrities that he's trained and fought with, and
The movies he's been in. Man.
yeah, he had 9 different black belts, and
Nine different disciplines. Yeah,
That's
big.
Guy's been busy, and now he's 81. And he's just, living his life, having
Still
a drink
going,
and-
still doing a little bit of training. He says as well.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Living the good life, But yeah, we're gone now. I'm Mr. Lucas,
I'm Chris.
and I hope you enjoyed the show, man. We're back with some more Kung Fu bits soon. But, stay tuned, as always.
Till next time.
Peace.
Those were the days I remember.
You must attend the morning ritual in uniform. Outside.